Right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the C60 Show.
Hi, I'm Ken, a research scientist and founder of C60 Purple Power.
And I'm Sierra, certified functional nutritionist. Today, we're going to do a live Q&A, so please put your questions in the chat.
Yes, we're here to answer all your questions about C60.
And we'd love a chance to say hi, so please let us know where you're from.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, let's get started. But first, all opinions expressed on our show today are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please seek advice from your doctor or other health care practitioner.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
All right. Well, we give you some time to put your questions in the chat. We just want to go over what is C60 in case you're here for the first time and you're wondering, oh, what the heck is this?
Well, sounds good.
You want to pull out the bucket
Yes,
ball
carbon
pen.
60. Here's our little carbon 60 is a molecule of 60 carbon atoms shaped like a little tiny soccer ball, about 0.7 nanometers in size. And it's one of the most powerful antioxidants known. And it's really what it really does. It's characterized as a super oxide dismutase mimic, and that means it's going to bring your mitochondria back up to full function. So, and your mitochondria, those little organelles in your body, they produce ATP, the energy molecule of the cell, and things like pregnenolone, the precursor molecule for all the hormones. So when you're taking it, you're going to get like a big boost of energy, and after a little bit, once the pregnenolone levels build up, you'll get a reburst of hormone levels.
So basically, C60 does one thing really, really well, and that is it neutralizes oxidative radicals. Well, of course, as you age, your body doesn't produce as many antioxidants. And while you can get some antioxidants from your food, your body actually has to make certain antioxidants. And I know your mitochondria, which is responsible for the energy production in your cells, kind of slows down when there's a lot of oxidative stress, which makes sense why as you age, you kind of get tired and you're not as motivated. You don't want to exercise as much. Well, it makes perfect sense. So what C60 does really well is help offset that oxidative stress, neutralize it so that the mitochondria can ramp up energy production. And that is really the magic behind the molecule.
Okay, well, should we start some questions?
Yes, we have a lot of questions. Last on our last Q&A, if you joined us, thank you so much. It was our first Q&A in a while, and we had quite a few questions. We were only planning on doing 30 minutes. We ended up doing an hour, so we'll see how long we take today, but we'll be here for at least 30 minutes answering questions. But we're going to start with a view from the email that people emailed us, so I'll give you a little more time to put your questions in the chat and for people to show up. Let me get myself situated here. I thought I wanted the questions over there, but I changed my mind, so I'm going to put them over here. One question we get a lot, excuse me, which I do want to address today, is why is C60 so expensive?
Well, because high purity C60, especially sublimated C60, costs more by weight than gold. And sublimated C60, if you remember from my school chemistry class, sublimation is a cousin of evaporation. So it's sort of like a distillation of C60. Whereas, and that's kind of unique because only a few companies on the market have sublimated C60. Most of them have solvent-based C60, which is basically it's purified with methylbenzene. You may know benzene as a carcinogenic substance. So you really don't want a carcinogenic substance in your C60. So that's why you always want to look for sublimated C60.
And it's actually kind of an illusion that it's expensive because if you think about it, a 1 ounce bottle of CBD costs around $80. But we sell bigger bottles, okay? So this is like a 3-month supply. So a 1 ounce bottle of C60 is about half the price of CBD oil. So just to put that into perspective, okay, it's actually not that expensive. And the 3-month supply, this is a 16 ounce bottle, in case you're wondering. An 8 ounce bottle will cover you for about 45 days. So if you're looking for a month supply, now that's if you take a teaspoon a day. Someone average size weight like me would take a teaspoon. But if you're older,
a little bit older and maybe a little bit heavier, it's a tablespoon a day.
Because as we said, your antioxidant production declines and you might need a little bit more.
Yes.
And a lot of the people that use C60 and rave about it are in their later ages because they can really tell the difference.
Yes, it's the gray-haired crowd that really notices the benefits of C60.
And then athletes too, because athletes eat oxidative radicals for breakfast. Like your whole process of energy production creates that oxidative radicals. So if you're exercising strenuously and all the time, you're going to have more oxidative stress to deal with. So athletes are another, group of people that really notice the effects of C60.
Right.
So anyway, let's start with some actual questions.
What's our first question?
And just so you know, if you guys have questions and in the future you want to email us your questions, you can do that at questions@c60purplepower.com. All right. Betsy wants to know how to take C60 in best. Okay. What's the best way to take C60 in the morning before breakfast? Can I just take it directly to my mouth, or do I need to mix it with water?
Oh, no, you can take it directly into the mouth. And we also say, because it is a little stimulatory, because it gets those mitochondria ramping. So you probably want to take it in the morning. And you can take it straight because C60 is dissolved in oil. So you just take the oil straight. Or if you can mix it with food, a lot of people use our packets. We have little individual serving size packets, and they put it in their coffee. So it's great in their coffee, or you can put it in your breakfast food if you want. But it's probably best to take it in the morning and just kind of start your day out right.
Yeah, it can be a little stimulating. So I always take mine in the morning. If I need a little afternoon pick-me-up, I'll do like half a teaspoon. But yeah, I usually just chase it with water and lemon. That's how I like to do it. But we also have these awesome flavors that you really don't have to chase with anything because they taste so good. So we've got orange, cinnamon, peppermint. This is a great little travel size bottle and a great little bottle to have, in your purse or at your desk. So I use those a lot too because I don't have to chase it with anything. There's another one. Okay, there's another question from Betsy. She says, some articles are showing that C60 has a negative activity on DNA. What is your wisdom about that?
That was actually using particles of C60. And that's something you should be aware of. Only individually dissolved molecules of C60 have any benefit. If you have particles of C60, a particle of C60, that's basically a crystal, a little crystal. Crystal surfaces act as catalytic things, and it's the same. If you had a particle of silica, particle of C60, a particle of a metal, or whatever it is, it's a crystal interface acts totally differently from an individually dissolved molecule. So a lot of those studies all the studies that have like negative efficacy of C60, you notice, read a little bit closer, they're particles of C60, and particles act completely differently than dissolved individual molecules of a substance.
Now, the C60 that we use in our products has been tested and has been found to be safe in scientific studies. In fact, they were testing for toxicity levels of C60. So they were trying to see how much C60 they could give test animals before there was some sort of toxicity. Not only did they not find any level of toxicity at 10,000 times the amount that we would normally take, but it actually extended the lifespan of test animals by 90%. And that is probably the most famous study. It's the Paris-Bati study, which you can look up.
Yep. Well, what's our next question?
Next question. Thank you, Betsy, for those questions. Very good questions. And we're so glad that you asked those questions. Next. Oh. Sophie says, I'm watching you both live now, but the recording keeps stalling. Oh, that's interesting. Sophie, you might be having some internet issues, but I think we're good to go on our end. Chris, let me know if there's any issues.
Yeah, we're directly into the cable here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you flagged this one. You sure you want to talk about that?
What is that? Okay, just read it.
Okay. I had a series of breast cancer radiation treatments that ended a month ago. Now I have adrenal fatigue with no cortisol, low thyroid hormones, and scalp hair falling out. Do you have any C60 success stories from people like me?
Yes, what you're really suffering from is low pregnenolone production. And one of the things that C60 does when it restarts the mitochondria make pregnenolone. So yeah, if you take C60, it will definitely increase your pregnenolone levels, and all of those things that you're suffering from should go down.
Now, something to be said though, if you're actually not making any cortisol, you do need to take cortisol because you cannot live without cortisol. I know I have Addison's, which is a rare condition where your body stops making it. So hopefully you can get ahead of that, guys. If you have adrenal fatigue, get ahead of it, because you don't want to end up, in adrenal crisis where you don't make any cortisol. But you absolutely need it to metabolize food and water and to live. So make sure you're definitely talking to your doctor about that. C60, it can help with hormone levels, and it has helped with hormone levels for people. But some people with serious autoimmune conditions, will have, it'll take longer to heal the various glands. It can also be the hormone glands that are having a trouble. So there's so many factors in hormone production. Mitochondria and pregnenolone is one of them, but downstream from that, there's a lot of other factors. So to diagnose where the issue is coming from takes a little bit more. So make sure you ask your doctor, get plenty of advice, and also keep that inflammation in check. That's so important when you have any kind of damaged tissue or autoimmune issues or anything like that, because the inflammation can make your immune system go haywire, and your body can start attacking itself because, maybe you have inflammation in your gut, or you have inflammation in your joints and you get arthritis, or you have inflammation on your adrenal because your adrenal glands, because they're taxed. Anytime something becomes inflamed like that, the body can start to attack itself. So, as specifically those areas of the body. Let's see. But yeah, you might want to get your thyroid levels checked as well. If your hair is falling out, that could be a big part of that. One more thing I'll say, because this is kind of like my area that I really like to talk about. So look at sensitivities, food sensitivities and allergies, because that can also trigger. And honestly, if you went through chemo, you're probably going to be even more sensitive to certain things, and you might have allergies now when you didn't before. So if you work with a functional nutritionist or a doctor that can help you identify your food sensitivities, that can really help you heal your gut and prevent autoimmune flare-ups and things like that. All right, but if you want to learn more about that, do check out our video all about thyroid health that we just released again. And then we're also going to release another one about, we did release the one about adrenal health as well. So check out both of those videos because we do a deep dive. Okay, next. Janet says, I do intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day. From the information I've read and heard, you should take C60 in the morning and eat within the hour. Can you please help with suggestions?
Well, no, if you're doing 1 meal a day, just take C60 right before you do that meal.
There you go.
That's all it is. I do intermittent fasting too, and I just take C60 when I break my fast. Because, C60 is dissolved in water. Yeah. It's dissolved in oil. And oil is, a nutrient. So when you take C60 in oil, you're breaking your fast.
Now you'll know if your first meal is at noon, you should be okay. As far as the stimulating effect of C60, that's the only reason why we suggest taking it in the morning, because it can be stimulating. So that's the only thing. If you can do that and you can take it at noon and you don't have any trouble going to sleep or anything like that, then you're good to go. Okay, next one is from Tara. Does C60 have any benefits for neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, dementia? Real quick disclaimer here, we can't actually talk about diseases directly. We would never could say that it prevents, cures, or treats or mitigates any disease. However, let's zoom out, and what is neurodegenerative conditions caused by inflammation in the brain, right?
Yeah, that's right. And and basically and not functional of mitochondria function. Like, for instance, my macular degeneration went away when I started taking C60. And that's my personal anecdotal experience. And we have lots of other personal anecdotal experiences, because basically the cells in your body that have the most mitochondria are the nerve cells. Mm-hmm. And C60 makes mitochondria function fully. So yes, C60 is incredibly useful in anything that has to do with nerves. So yes, I think you would find a benefit from C60.
And that's, in
my non-medical opinion.
I love the benefits of like increased energy, but honestly, the mental clarity, that is like I will not go to some important event or even do the show or something where it's like high stakes and I need to be clearly spoken and everything else. I will not do that without my C60, just so you know. So it definitely helps with mental clarity. And, Ken explained it scientifically, but inflammation is the cause. Inflammation in the brain is the cause of so many conditions, neurodegenerative conditions. And the tricky thing is, pharmaceutical companies and drug companies and even supplement company, the real challenge is crossing the blood-brain barrier. You can take supplements, you can take vitamin C and try to fight inflammation, but not all of those supplements or all those drugs are going to be able to cross the blood-brain barrier and neutralize the oxidative stress or the inflammation in the brain. But C60 does cross the blood-brain barrier. It's a super tiny molecule and it's lipophilic, meaning it's dissolved in oil. So it can cross the blood-brain barrier. It can cross the gut barrier. It can get everywhere it needs to go. And it happens to be attracted to these cells that have a lot of mitochondria, like the brain cells, right?
Yep, yes.
And the liver and all of these things. That's why it's so powerful. Let's see. Mark says, I have a 14-year-old dog that I have been treating with C60 to improve her health. She recently got some kind of infection and is coughing up a lot of clear and white fluid. She is now on antibiotics and hasn't shown much improvement. Can I use chlorine dioxide and C60 at the same time? I know one is an oxidizer and the other is the opposite.
That would be fine because
Okay.
because C60 is rapidly uptaken into the cells, and chlorine dioxide really doesn't make it into the cells. It's outside, taking out bacteria basically. So the two won't interact with each other. I wouldn't take them at the same time.
What is chlorine dioxide? That's bleach, right?
Yeah, it's not bleach.
Okay,
it's something else.
All right.
It's
just to make sure we're not telling people to do that.
It's not bleach. Sorry.
Okay, good. Yeah, and I think, here's the thing. With all the wonderful things that C60 does, infection is not necessarily one of them that it can help with. Like if you have infection and bacterial infection, while C60 will support the good bacteria in your body and help your gut health, which is really, really important when you're trying to prevent an infection. If you have an infection, you need to get, medical help because I don't want to recommend anything specific. I have my own way of getting rid of bacterial infections, but you should probably see a doctor. But I like structured silver myself,
okay.
So that works pretty well. All right. Skincare. So Pam wants to know if it helps to apply C60 to your skin.
Yes, it does. In fact, that was the first human experiment with C60, and they found in a study that C60 significantly reduced wrinkles and fine lines in Japanese women. So yeah, C60 applied topically has wonderful benefits.
Definitely. And I like to use the avocado oil topically. People have also found that some strange skin ailments have gone away. I actually use it. I put it in a bottle with some water and use it as a after sun skin spray. And my first time trying this, I got really burnt and I used the skin spray for several days and I had a skin tag that turned black and fell off. So that was a really unexpected result. So let us know in the comments if you have experimented with topical use of C60. We'd love to hear about it. Cat dosage. Barb says, if the human dose for a 100-pound person is 1 teaspoon, it seems a bit much to 5/4 teaspoon to a 10-pound to give a 1/4 teaspoon to a 10-pound cat.
Yeah, you could probably go away with 1/8 of a teaspoon. That would be fine. Mm-hmm. Just drop it out, put it in their food.
Yeah. Let's see, another question from Barb. Is the avocado oil used in your product sourced from just the avocado flesh, or are the seeds and skin also pressed into the oil?
No, it's just the flesh.
Okay.
Yeah, the seeds and skin are actually toxic, so you don't want that in your oil.
Tanya said, can C60 help with emotional clarity? Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, yes, it does. I noticed we've had many customer reports that people's suffering from road rage goes way down. So when they're stuck in traffic, they aren't like wanting to like attack the
Yeah.
people around them. They're much more relaxed
We know
in
that,
the
like,
traffic.
I mean, not only does it, for me personally, my favorite benefit of C60, besides the mental clarity, besides the increased energy, is just the happy vibe that happens. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's supporting the good bacteria, which, makes you feel happy, or the serotonin production, which happens in the gut, by the way. But it just, I feel like I am in a great mood. Now, if you want to dive deep into the whole mood thing and how C60 can help your mood, definitely check out the video we just released Monday about mood swings. Mary says, what is the difference in the pet C60 and the human C60?
Actually,
Quick answer.
There is
None.
None. They're the same.
Nada.
Just they come in smaller bottles and droppers. That's the...
Well, they come in the same size bottles.
Yeah.
But they have different labeling for different dosage instructions for pets. So there you go. So yeah, you can give your pet your own, if you buy a C60 for yourself, you can give it to your pet, as long as it's, we do not recommend avocado oil for birds. However, it's great for dogs. MCT oil, not so great for dogs because it is part of the grass family and it can make them throw up. But I like avocado oil
If you want to clean up after your dog, tend to avoid coconut oil with dogs.
Yeah.
Just as a rule.
Yeah. And if you want more information specifically about pets, you can go to shopc60.com / C60 health benefits. Well, anyway, just go to resources tab and you'll find the C60 health benefits for pets. There you go. I'll also put that link in the description later. And Chris, you can chime in and share it as well in the chat. That'd be great. All right. The next one is from Carl. Hello, what in C60 makes the blood thinner?
Well, it's not actually anything in C60 that makes the blood thinner. What it is, it's the C60, when it gets into the adrenals, will reactivate the adrenals. And then the adrenals produce mineral corticoids, which regulate blood, quote, thickness or thinness. And so it's actually the reactivation of your adrenals, the mineral corticoids specifically, that is going to cause that change in blood thickness.
So just keep an eye on it. It's not that you absolutely can't take it, but keep an eye on it, because if your blood starts to get thinner, you'll want your doctor to get you off.
Well, actually, we recommend consulting a doctor. If you're on a blood thinner and you're taking C60, consult with a doctor.
There you go. That makes it simple. All right. Kaylee says, is there any information or research regarding the impact of C60 on fibromyalgia?
All we do is we have customer anecdotal. There's no direct research on fibromyalgia. We have lots of customer anecdotal reports of how it's really significantly helped them. It doesn't make it all go away, but it certainly reduces the symptoms.
Now that is autoimmune condition.
Yes, it is. Well, they don't really know what it is, but fibromyalgia is a multitude of conditions. They don't really have a clear understanding of what's going on. But we do know that a lot of people anecdotally say when they take C60, fibromyalgia symptoms go down.
Now, a good rule of thumb is if it's an inflammatory condition, C60 will most likely help that.
Okay.
And Brandon says, I just received 2 bottles of avocado C60, but the driver did not let me know it came. So I don't know how long it was sitting on my front porch.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The heat will not damage the oil or the C60. No, those are, you don't worry about it. C60 is not damaged by heat. So.
Okay, great. Scott says, let's. Question from Teresa, is C60 a binder for heavy metals?
No, what C60 does, it's been found in multiple studies to turn metal hydroxides into metal oxides, which is a non-biologically active form, but it's also a form that your body systems can grab and expel from the body.
So it deactivates.
Yes, and also C60 also kind of has a positive 2 charge like metals do in that sense, and it can dislodge heavy metals from your body. And because you're taking C60 in the milligrams and heavy metals in your body are in the micrograms, it basically dislodges them and then prevents them redepositing. so that your body can actually get them out of you.
Now, what about tooth fillings?
That's the
Should
same
you be
thing.
concerned?
No, it doesn't affect tooth fillings at all
Okay.
because they're not in your body. They're, certainly they leak into your body, and you shouldn't be having tooth fillings of mercury, but it'll certainly protect you from the poisons that is.
Okay. Cheryl says, how does C60 affect estrogen? I have hormone positive breast cancer and I can't find any information as if it's safe for me to take.
Well, what C60 does, C60 will increase pregnenolone production, which means it'll increase hormone production throughout the body. So you'll get more pituitary, you'll get more thyroid, you'll get more, androgens, and then your body decides what pregnenolone gets turned into.
Well,
Mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, androgens, it doesn't, whatever it is.
I think the concern here that
is it going to make it higher?
That Cheryl has is that it'll increase estrogen, which you don't want. In fact, a lot of times with breast cancer patients, they completely wipe out the estrogen level for that reason. So I think that for this one, you really need to consult your doctor. C60 will not directly increase estrogen levels. It'll only increase the pregnenolone. But if they're tampering it down with drugs or whatever, then it shouldn't be a problem, but I would ask your doctor. Let's see. Okay, great. Well, I think we've got a lot more questions from YouTube, so we're going to get started on some YouTube questions here.
They're really tiny to see.
Yeah, okay, so let's start. Thanks, you guys. We love to see all your questions in the chat. And if you're watching the replay today, do put your questions in the comments because we will definitely check those out later and try to answer your questions there. Okay, Traveler. Hi, Traveler.
Hi, Traveler.
I know Traveler. We know Traveler. Okay, telomeres. Is there scientific empirical evidence that C60 actually grows at the end of our chromosomes or inhibits degradation?
No, what C60 does, first off, every time your cells divide, telomere length goes down. Now, normally, if you were in a perfectly non-oxidative environment, you'd lose like 20 DNA units. But actually, most people lose 50 to 100. So C60 being antioxidant is going to slow down the shortening of the telomeres below, to try and pushing it closer to that 20 optimum. What people notice, some people notice an increase in telomere length with C60, but that's because what happens is C60 will basically cause apoptosis in senescent cells. And senescent cells are cells that have their telomeres are so short they can't even reproduce, right? And they've turned into zombie cells. C60 reactivates the mitochondria then cause apoptosis, programmed cell death in senescent cells. And then those senescent cells, now gone, are replaced by stem cells, which have a full set of telomeres. And so when you take a telomere test, like let's say in your cheek, you're taking the average of thousands of cells. So the average telomere length of thousands of cells, basically because those new stem cells are in there, gives you an increase in telomere length. But in any specific cell, it's not going to increase telomere length.
Wow. Well, that's a lot to unpack. But just so you know, why should you care about telomere length? Well, it actually is a way of measuring your biological age. And so if you have longer telomeres, right, then you're considered younger. And if you have shorter, then you're considered older. They can kind of tell what age you are based on that. And how would you know? Because I know you mentioned people can tell when their telomere length is getting longer. I don't know if you could tell that. You have to take a test.
You have to take a test,
right?
or take Foxo for therapy.
Okay, so ask your doctor. And actually, there's some companies out there that will do telomere tests for you, right?
Yes,
directly.
That's right. Yes, lots of them.
So yeah, you could do a before and after. Check out the results with your C60. Here's another question. This one's from Top 10850. MCT oil and C60. Why does it make you feel sick to your stomach and have diarrhea?
That's because you're probably taking it on an empty stomach. And one of the things MCT oil is, it's a short chain triglyceride. It's easily digested by the intestines, but if your duodenum and your gallbladder actually have to adjust to that oil over time. So you'd probably need to take it with food. And over time, your body will adjust for the MCT oil. A lot of athletes use MCT oil and their body eventually adjusts so it can rapidly absorb it. So that's just something that's best taken with food until your body adapts. And your body will adapt to digesting MCT oil. It just takes a while.
And if you want to get the maximum absorption, you can take it with food that's a little bit lower in fiber. So maybe some protein, some scrambled eggs or something like that.
Yep.
But if it continues to be a problem, just try the avocado oil. That's the
That's the
one that
easiest
people.
digested oil.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Elizabeth says, at 71, I would love to experience a rebirth on anti-oxidative stress. How does C60 work?
Yeah, C60 basically, what happens is pretty much most oxidative radicals have a free electron, like superoxide, peroxynitrate, hydroxyl ion. What C60 does is C60 kind of grabs that extra. Well, C60 likes to become positively charged because it takes positively charged ions from.
There you
If
go.
you can see that.
You can see
Positively, yeah.
this.
Okay, yes, they can.
We have a chart.
Yeah, positively charged ions from outside the environment. It stores it like in its cage-like structure, which is unique in nature and makes it positively charged. Oxidative radicals are negatively charged. They stick to the C60. C60 basically takes that electron away, gives it to one of the hydrogen ions, turning it into hydrogen gas, and that neutralizes the oxidative radical. And with hydroxyl ion, which is basically a water molecule missing a proton, C60 will actually donate the proton to the hydroxyl radical, turn it back into water. And the key thing is C60 can reset itself again and again and again.
It can do, I think this is fun to talk about. It can do this process over and over again. When it gets in the mitochondria, it goes back and forth in and out of the mitochondria because there's all these oxidative radicals inside. Then it becomes positively charged and it goes back outside and then back inside. It's just, the process keeps going.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why C60 is characterized as several hundred times more powerful than conventional antioxidants, because it can reset itself without help from body chemistry. Like usually like vitamin C or like glutathione, right? It'll combine with an oxidative radical. It makes a new complex. Then the body has to take that and use some ATP and enzymes to like pull the oxidative radical off, neutralize it, and then put the glutathione or the vitamin C back out there. So it's just a amazing way to do that.
And that is why C60 pure, 99.99% pure C60 is so powerful, and you only need a teaspoon a day. Most people only need a teaspoon a day. Some people need more. Do you want to talk about dosage real quick?
Yeah, it's basically for average sized people of average age, mid-age, like 30 or 40s. Probably a teaspoon is fine, but if you're older or a bit heavier, then go up to a tablespoon. And that's basically the rule of it.
And here's the chart.
Yeah, here's the chart. If you're really, really big or really, really old, you might go up to 2 tablespoons, but it's not a lot, and you take it in the morning.
You can visit shopc60.com to learn more about that.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here. I know there's more. Traveler again says, how is C60 affected by various storage environments? For example, if I left in a mailbox at 100 degrees temperature.
Won't be bothered at all. The temperature doesn't do anything. What you shouldn't do with your C60 is put it in sunlight. There can be some photooxidation. That's why we have C60 in amber bottles. The same reason beer comes in amber bottles, because blue and UV light will damage beer. Blue and UV light will cause oxidation of the oils. It will not destroy the C60 molecule, which is nearly indestructible. But
you'd have to heat it at like 1,000 degrees or something.
Yeah, example like 500 Celsius. But
500.
Yeah, okay. But just being hot in the mailbox will not affect C60 at all, or the oil that it's in.
It's a pretty tough molecule.
Yep.
Air travel. Okay, another one from Traveler. Is C60 affected by radiation at altitude in commercial aircraft or going through airport scanners?
No. C60 is not. C60 isn't even. In fact, C60 will stop oxidation of the oils that might happen from the radiation. So C60, actually, some people use it as a preservative in oils, because it stops oxidative damage to the oils itself too.
Heart Truth says, are there any ongoing C60 studies happening? Yes,
there are, but they haven't been published, so I can't. There's some on post-traumatic stress syndrome and Persian Gulf warriors, I guess.
Top 10 850 says, I have tinnitus ringing in my ears and some weird noises in my head. Could C60 benefit any underlying causes of tinnitus?
Yeah, actually, we've had some people. Tinnitus is actually caused by the nerve cells in your little cochlea in there that pick up like losing their hair. And one of the things that C60 causes, in fact, it's found in scientific studies, C60 increases hair growth. So C60 will probably stimulate those cochlea hair follicles to put out new hair growth so that that ringing goes away. And we have people said that ringing goes away because basically it causes the hair inside your ears to grow, which is the cochlea, which to grow, which is actually how you detect sound.
Is there a point of diminishing return once you get above a 1 tablespoon dosage?
Yeah, probably between 1 or 2 tablespoons, you're going to get diminishing returns. Now you could actually, the rats, they did 10,000 times that. So you could actually take a whole liter of C60 a day, right? And it wouldn't have any toxicity. But it's not going to have, you're not going to have much benefit from it either.
No.
Yeah. So
athletes will take more.
Yeah, athletes take more if they're doing home. But yeah, but beyond 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons, it's diminishing returns.
I mean, you'll know if you've taken too much. You get the zoomies.
You get the zoomies. You're
have a hard time sleeping. You're like, woo. Which some people love. There's people that apparently it helps them.
Yeah, we had a doctor who was taking 2 ounces a day.
Yikes.
And he said he turns telepathic.
Yes. People that do remote viewing love C60 for that reason.
Yeah, but if you take 2 ounces a day, weird things will happen. But that's, it's, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, athletes love to take it.
You might turn telepathic, start reading people's thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I think
do you really want to do that? I don't know. I
think it's more effective. Like, rather than taking a whole shot glass or tablespoon, whatever in the morning, you might want to break it up a little bit, take a little in the morning.
Oh yeah,
take a little in the afternoon or before any kind of athletic thing or.
No, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I take when I'm doing stuff, I take little doses every 15 minutes and I can actually do math the way I did in my 20s.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Which is amazing. Yeah. So if you're like one of those old scientist guys or engineer guys out there and you have problems doing stuff, do a little dose every 15 minutes. It'll actually turn your brain on back when you were in your 20s and you can get those things done.
How long does it take to get to the brain?
It takes 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah. So it's pretty quick. Let's see. Can C60 work at the mitochondria DNA level, promoting the production of new stem cells?
Yes, it does. What it actually does, it causes apoptosis in senescent cells. So all those zombie cells go away. Now your tissues have less cells than they need. So they actually send out messages, make more stem cells. And of course, C60 helps stem cells reproduce. So yeah, you'll get huge levels of stem cells when you're taking C60. It takes a couple months to build them up, but once you do, you'll notice it.
Now that's another benefit that has a lot of really positive that's downstream effects.
Yeah, that's like what they think what happened in the Japanese women. That
sure.
Really, when they put it on there, it actually increased stem cells in the skin, which is not having enough stem cells is what causes wrinkles and lines.
Makes your skin get thin.
Yeah. So when the stem cells came back in the skin, then they did a thing with rabbit cartilage, and actually they took out the joints in these rabbits, damaged them, and then not only did it stop the inflammation, which they were testing for, it actually regrew the cartilage, literally regrew the joint. So yeah, that's really good.
Sure. And then gut cells, obviously. I mean, immune cells comes from stem cells. Stem cells create all the cells in your body. So if you can imagine, if you have plenty of stem cells and, as you age, stem cell production does decline. So it can be really, really helpful in your later years. Is there any evidence that C60 has anti-tumorigenic properties?
We can't talk about the big C. Let's just pass that question on.
Yeah.
It's you could read the scientific literature. We used to have it posted, but yeah.
How can I get the C60 to taste better? Can I include it in recipes? Yes, you can put it in your smoothies. Some people put it on their salad. The cinnamon, we also have flavors, cinnamon, orange, peppermint. You can put it in your coffee. The MCT is the one that has no taste. So we use that for the different flavors, the peppermint, orange. And it's really great to put in your coffee because again, it's the same oil they use in bulletproof coffee.
Yeah, bulletproof coffee. Yeah.
So that one's really good for smoothies and coffees. And then the avocado tastes very similar to the olive, actually. But
it doesn't have the bite.
Right.
It doesn't have that little bite from the polyphenols that.
Yeah.
Olive oil has certain polyphenols that have that bite.
So those oils work better with savory foods. You can drizzle it on top of your avocado toast or your salad. But we don't recommend cooking or frying food or anything like that with the oil. Just drizzle on top. When I put it in my salad, I like to drizzle on top because I don't want to waste any on the side of the bowl. So, but let's see what else here. I think that's it for questions.
That's it for questions. Well,
we
that's
made it
wonderful.
40 minutes this time.
Okay, that's good.
Well, we appreciate all your questions today. Again, if you're watching the replay, do let us know in the comments if you have any questions, because we are happy to answer those. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed our show, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends.
And if you'd like to try C60 for yourself, visit c60purplepower.com and remember to use the coupon code the C60 Show for 10% off.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's supposed to be shop
C60, yes. You'll get there with c60purplepower.com or shop C60. They'll both take you to the site.
Go to shopc60.com and get 10% off your order. And if you're watching us on YouTube today, we would love to see you again. So please subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload something new.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions, and looking forward to you again on the next show.
Yeah, see you next time.